Welcome in episode number 6, Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris. My name is Chris Hand. Directly to my left, Dan Mandis. We both host talk radio shows on Nashville's Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and we host Mostly Peaceful here every single Saturday. We appreciate you listening, however you may be listening. New school year kicking off. You big excited?
No, I'm not big excited. Here's why I hated school as a kid and as an adult. School means homework, going to bed early, and getting up early. And it sucks. And especially as a parent, because you've got to like lasso the kids and keep yelling at them to, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed.
Yeah.
And so I've always had this debate, which is better, summer as a parent, summer or school. Because in the summertime, kids have the audacity to say, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna enroll your ass in summer school. And so that shuts them right up.
I like that.
Yeah, but
So you kick off summer with threats.
I do, actually. with my 2 kids and now my stepson. And
I love it.
Yeah. So, but kids, I don't know, you're 37?
Yeah.
Okay, so I go way back. I'm 57. So when summer was going on when I was a kid, all that was on TV, right, was like reruns of Gilligan's Island,
Based.
Bewitched, Brady Bunch,
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. These days, kids have 1,000 channels on TV, the entire internet, and gaming as well. And
they're bored.
And they're bored.
And they're bored.
Is there such a thing as there's too much going on and there's too much access to everything,
Well, it's like-
and it's
yeah,
sort of like
can't
if you
see-
have everything?
Can't see the forest through the trees. I definitely think there's something like that.
Yeah.
100%. We try to cut out TV completely once the school year starts,
Okay, so define TV
if it's on the TV.
on the actual television.
Yep.
So can they do YouTube? Because, there's a
No.
huge workaround on
No,
that.
no. I mean, we don't do cell phones or iPads. None of the kids have iPads.
YouTube?
We have a few approved channels that we like that
Okay.
the kids can watch.
Yeah.
The Adventure Agents is like a big one for my boys.
Adventure Agents.
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
it's like this low key outdoorsy show, but the dad's like super red pilled,
Okay.
and like he'll drop little gems or be like, yeah, that would be stealing, so we can't do that. Some people would say taxation is theft, but we're gonna go over here and make a campfire. And it's like, I just love it. I love it. It's so good. But my boys are all in on outdoor stuff. And then if we're doing YouTube, it'll be like old school Berenstein Bears or something like that. We're really lame. But there's no unfettered access to YouTube.
Do you worry about if they do a sleepover or if they eventually end up getting, as you say, unfettered access to YouTube? How do you ensure that when they get that unfettered access, that they will know how to put everything in context and all that kind of stuff? Because sometimes, probably not with your kids, but sometimes it's like the preacher's daughter syndrome, right?
Yep.
So preacher's daughter, preacher really strict, and daughter goes out and goes hog wild. So same concept applies with kids.
It's I go back to this. There's Jordan Peterson thing, and he does this whole breakdown on Sleeping Beauty. And he says that Maleficent wasn't angry that Maleficent stormed the castle because she wasn't invited, right?
Mhm.
That's why she stormed the castle. That's why the curse was put on Sleeping Beauty. You are going to have to invite some evil in. Otherwise, it's going to storm the gates. So to like your point, like, yes, you absolutely have to get them ready for this kind of stuff. For us, it's been like slow red pilling. Like anytime a question is asked of my older daughter, I give her the most raw answer I can give her.
Now, we got it for folks who don't know. How old's your older daughter?
11. Kennedy's 11.
Okay.
So I have my youngest is 3, Millie Jane, and then Bishop is 6, Brooks is 7. He's about to turn 8, and then Kennedy's 11. For the sleepover stuff, we did get the Bark Watch, which we talked about last episode.
Yep.
So she can reach out to us if something happens. If we're doing a sleepover, we know the family and we know the parents, and we're comfortable with that. We're not doing new friends sleepovers. But the internet definitely makes me nervous. It definitely makes me nervous.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Also, I was watching a thing today. Some kid had his profile removed from Roblox. Are you familiar with Roblox?
Oh, yeah.
He had his profile removed from Roblox. I think that they're suing them. Don't quote me. I think he might be suing them. There's a lawsuit somewhere.
Mhm.
His profile was suspended because he was outing pedophiles on the platform. He got law enforcement 6 actionable items on pedophiles that were then charged and prosecuted, and Roblox removed him from the platform.
Why in the world would they remove him? That's crazy.
Because that's a big part of their business model.
Pedophiles?
Yeah. There's like bathroom simulators on Roblox where the whole thing is that you walk in and like everybody's using the bathroom.
Using the bathroom.
Using the bathroom. Roblox is like the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
I would not recommend.
Well, the
Roblox.
internet is wild, wild west.
Yeah, but it's like the internet, at least we know the teeth and the knives are out.
Yes.
It's like when you dress up that wolf in grandma's clothes and put her in bed, that's Roblox.
Yeah. You know, what was around when you were a kid? Like when I was a kid, we had Pac-Man, Galaga,
Yep.
Space Invaders, and asteroids. That was it. You know, talking about like the difference between me, you, and then our kids
Yep.
during the summer. I mean, all I would do during the summertime was the shows that we
Yeah.
would watch. Get Smart was a great one.
Mm-hmm.
And going to an actual arcade,
Yeah.
or when you know, you did have some video games, but not a whole heck of a lot were for the TV. Tanks, remember that
Yep.
stupid thing? So, but then, you know, by the time you were in school and in summer and all that, I mean, what did you do?
So N64,
Mhm.
PlayStation 2 was big
Yeah.
as I was growing up. But it was different though because video games were still like a friend experience. Whereas now like you can shut yourself in a room
Oh, yeah.
and play for hours with a bunch of different people that you don't know. Like
And I know that like Riker plays my stepson, he's 11, and he's playing with people in Great Britain
Yep.
and Australia,
Yeah.
and you know we'll listen in to make sure there's no hijinks or shenanigans going on, and you can hear these kids, and they've got all the accents.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. I mean, so when online gaming became like actually realistic, I was an adult. I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And then the only time I really ever used it was when my buddy Steve was in Afghanistan. We would link up and we would play some NBA
Yeah.
occasionally at like, 2 a.m. We'd play a game and it was like downtime for him.
Hmm.
But I never really got into the online gaming. I mean, growing up for me, it was all it was either you're gaming with your friends and you order some pizza and there's like 6 of us and we're all circled around the TV. So it was a group thing. It was like now it's turned into very much isolated kind of an activity. So with my kids, we got them an N64. We have a PlayStation 4. But if they want to play video games, like it's got to be a together thing. Like
Yeah.
do it together. But yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. Every kid is going to be unique.
Well, you're right. You either expose them, and I think it sounds like you're doing the right thing. Not that I'm an expert, but you let a little bit of that evil in. You explain to the
Yep.
kids what is out there, what the risks are,
Yep.
so that they are ready when it actually happens. And then when school starts, I mean, you know this as well as I do, and people watching, is you're going to have the bullying and you're going to have all that kind of stuff. Teachers that are a pain in the
But
ass.
that's the worst part about the internet. Like, and this is one of the things that one of the reasons why I want to keep my kids offline. When we were kids, it's like you could have a tough day at school with your school friends, and then you go home and it's like, okay, I'm going to hang out with the neighborhood friends.
Right,
You could have a tough time with the neighborhood friend, and you're like, all right, I'm going to go hang out with baseball friends.
right.
And baseball friends and school friends and neighborhood friends were different islands.
Yes.
And it's like now it's like one point of contact, and all these kids are together on social media.
Yeah.
So
And you
there's
can't escape it.
You
So
can't. So
if
like,
you had a bad day, then everybody knows it.
well, I'm sure it's like you go to recalibrate for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like we're done with the school this week. Let's recalibrate to what we're doing here. but it's hard to now with the kids because they don't get to escape that.
Yeah. Do you know what the other hard thing is about, and we've navigated this in my house, is keeping your kids' attention because you're always competing with all that stuff that's online. So in Riker's case, for example, he goes on some of these various, I don't know all the things that he does. Amy is much more, my wife is much
Yeah.
more in tune with what he's doing. But he'll build things. They build all kinds of things. They
Yep.
do incredible things. But it's hard to compete with that as a parent. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, okay, so I try to get him to, hey, let's go to the park. Let's play catch. Let's walk the dog. Let's, play some video games or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, he's building entire cities online.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, am I going to build an entire city online or am I going to go play catch with Dan?
Yeah. Well, and it's like, and then even the video game stuff. I remember playing with my dad, and I remember the day where like I just beat the brakes off of him in Madden,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, this isn't fun anymore for Dad. It's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. He got, oh, God, Plants and Zombies. Your
Yeah.
kids play Plants and Zombies?
No, we don't.
Okay,
but
so
I know what
Plants
you're
and
talking about.
Zombies. I suck at video games. And so I try to play Plants and Zombies. And he had to be like 8. And he's like, no, you do it like this. And he's trying to teach me how to do it. I just could not get it. And he finally, I think it was the first time Riker actually got mad at me because I wasn't understanding how to do it.
That's
and
hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And then my wife starts in on me as well. But how do you not understand this? It's like, I'm used to Pac-Man or Space Invaders, that kind
Yep.
of stuff. So, I mean, for me, it's either, let's do something together as a family, play Monopoly. If you want to kill, I don't know, 3 hours, play some Monopoly.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And luckily, he went through a phase where, he was all in on the video games. He's sort of
Dialed back.
He's gotten it out of his system a little bit. And now he is much more amenable to, and oftentimes will say, hey, let's, watch a movie or let's, play a video game together, or let's just play, believe it or not, a board game. And we love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are some things that you're nervous about this school year?
Well, every parent will tell you school shootings and bullying. He's actually starting 6th grade, right?
Okay.
So it's a new school building. It's middle school.
Yep.
And so, you worry about him being ready for the additional expectations,
Mhm.
all those kinds of things. So, but the school shootings, I mean, that is one of those things that any parent is up night worrying about.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't spend a lot of time even thinking about it.
You don't?
No.
Maybe I'm too in touch with all of the headlines, but I just think that it's a constant worry for us, just because while it is so random and rare, you just never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think about it. And maybe that's my own fault. Like maybe I'm being naive and pushing it out of my head, but I try not to. I mean, we did the defense system thing with Brink Fiddler, and we
Yep.
did that training, and like I get how crazy it can be, but I think I go back to what you said, like statistically how rare it is.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Like I don't want to waste my time biting my
Mhm.
nails.
Who gets to help the kids with the homework?
Oh, that's Virginia. All
Is
day.
it your wife?
Well, we're doing like a homeschool hybrid. So
Okay.
the kids are the 3 oldest ones are in school 2 days a week. And then the remaining 3 days are with mom. So it's all homework.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's really cool because there's no you got home from school and now here's 4 hours of homework.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like work at your own pace. Like last year Brooks was in 1st grade, but he was doing 2nd grade math. So like if you can go faster, then you're allowed to step up and keep going.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of like, if you're doing work, but there's no like, okay, time to sit down and do homework.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It changes the whole dynamic of schooling.
Do you know what's interesting? There was a story in the news this week where they were talking about how the trades,
Mm-hmm.
the salaries for trades are going up and up and up, and the demands for trades
Yeah.
are going up and up and up. So when you're teaching your kids, including, of course, the girls too, are you keeping in mind that they could ultimately be better served as electricians or plumbers or whatever,
Yeah,
as opposed to, going to college and then ultimately learning a skill or doing a major that they're not going to be able to get a job with?
constantly talk about this. I tell all the kids, if you want to go to school to manage business,
Yeah.
so that way one of you can manage the company. And I tell the boys all the time, like, you have a unique opportunity because you have your brother. I was like, so if you guys get into plumbing and electricians, like, sky's the limit, and then you have each other. Like, that's a resource that you can't waste.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, we're always leaning in on the trades. And then we talk about, who do you want to work for? Do you want to have a boss or do you want to work for yourself?
Oh yeah.
We talk about who do you want to pay if you want to go to college, who do you want to pay for it? Do you want to pay for it?
Yeah.
Or would you like to sign up for the military and have the military pay for it?
Should
Would
they
you
ever say, "Well, you guys are going to pay for it"?
no, no, because I'm not.
It's not going to happen.
No, you gotta
Is that a philosophical issue with that you have with college in general, or is it just no? If you want to go to college, you're going to pay for it yourself.
I think college is a scam.
Well, I
Personally,
absolutely agree with you on that.
even what in the news this past week they were talking about all the well, we have a doctor shortage. We have a doctor shortage. It's like, okay,
Oh yeah, that's why they're
so
shipping in a bunch of doctors from like India
yeah,
and stuff.
The H-1B visas, but it's
Yeah.
like, okay, how about we lower the requirements?
Hmm.
And not like on the medical stuff, but is there a reason why my doctor needs to take 2 years of English literature?
Right. Right. Focus on the medicine.
Like, let's get back to it. So I think a lot of that's a scam. But if you got somebody else paying for it,
Hmm.
then okay, like let's talk about it. But have a plan going in.
Well,
That's
those.
really what my mission is with those guys. Just know what your plan is.
Hmm. You got to have a plan. Did you have a plan?
Me, yeah.
Yeah. What was your plan? Because I know. Did you? So I fell into radio.
Okay.
Like, I kid you not, up until probably the age of 40, I was still thinking about what I was really going to do with my life.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking of a backup plan, and I've been in radio since 18. Right when I got out of school, high school, and I went to junior college. Had no idea what I wanted to do, and then I wandered into the radio station, the college radio station, and I was fascinated by all the levers and all the records and all
Yep.
the dials and
Yeah.
stuff, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I had never been excited about anything in my life thus far, other than like girls and music.
Yeah.
Well, guess what I discovered? Working radio, there's a lot of music and a lot of girls, and I was hooked,
so
but I didn't have a plan, and then I got into radio.
so my high school was dicey. Like we had teachers that were getting arrested for doing heroin with students.
Wow.
Um
You went to school where?
in Massachusetts,
Okay.
right outside of Lowell.
Okay.
And it was as dicey as it could be.
Yeah.
And I always joked that like the guys that were getting in trouble, which was I was one of them, were the ones that weren't falling for the woke indoctrination BS in Massachusetts because it was a lot of that, a lot of indoctrination. So I just basically turned off.
Mhm.
And my high school career was, I mean, I was awful. I had like a .889 GPA,
.889?
.889. So then,
What? That's like an F.
oh yeah.
Okay.
So I got into high school and I remember like my first day was like, okay, here's your book. And I remember telling my teachers like, you're going to need to give me two. They'd be like, "Why?" I'd be like, "Because I'm not lugging this thing back and forth. So if you want me to do any of the homework, I'm gonna need one for home."
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want any of my boys to behave
Oh,
the way I
yeah.
behaved. So I hated it. I hated it. I was failing miserably. And they came up with this program because they didn't want to hurt the school called Senior Seminar.
Okay.
They said only come to school on Fridays and we'll give you 15 credits in math to help you graduate. We'll give you the 10 history credits and we'll give you the 15 English credits.
They didn't want that dropout rate to go
Yeah.
up.
So exactly. So they gave me all my credits. and said, as long as you're working, you don't have to come in. And I was like, okay. So then it was like, what do you do? So the biggest thing for me was I always didn't want to be a loser.
Right.
I think that was always my motivation.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what do I do? And I had wanted to be a rapper, but I couldn't rap. So
I wanted to be a bass player, but I had no rhythm.
yeah, so I went and I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? And it was radio.
Yeah.
So I started going to school 2 nights a week, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, while my high school had kind of like wrote me off.
Yeah.
Like they thought I'd be in prison. And judging by the friends that I had, I mean, it was probably a safer bet
You're on your way.
than being successful.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends, the overwhelming majority of them are dead or in jail.
Wow.
Like out of 30 kids, I'd say 25 dead or in jail.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So radio kind of saved
my life. Saved my life in so many ways. Hip hop saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the radio school, and then I went and graduated high school. They gave me all the credits, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I'm applying for all these internships, not hearing back from anything. And then I went and took the ASVAT test. I was gonna enlist. So
In the military.
Yep. So it was me, my buddy Benji, and my buddy Steve, the one who I was playing video games with in Afghanistan. And we all went and took the test. I got a really good score. I told them what I wanted to do, and they were like, "Great. We have all these different things that we can do radio-wise that we could help you with." I was like, "Perfect, perfect." And then I got a call from Jammin' 94.5 in Boston for an internship. And they were like, "Hey, we'd love you to come in for an interview." Got the interview. Got the internship. So I told my military recruiter, I was like, I'll be back in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Let me see how this pans out. And they're like, perfect. Yeah, let us know. We'll take you as soon as you want. And then it was 15 years later.
Yeah. I almost have the very same exact story where I was working at the high school radio station, the college radio station, junior college radio station. And I was going to join the Navy because that's what my dad did.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I got a job, like it was literally the week that I was going to go in, and I had already been in there once. I was going to go in, I was going to officially sign the papers, and my first radio station called me.
That's crazy.
It was the craziest thing. And so I told my dad that, what was going on, and he said, "You know what, if you're not feeling the military or if you don't want to do it and you really like, the radio thing, then go ahead and try it." The first time my dad heard me on the radio when I was a traffic reporter, he said something to the effect of, "Son, it's not too late to go join the military."
Jesus.
I was that bad. Because, I mean, you're blessed with a, nice, deep voice, and I'm not.
I couldn't string 2 sentences together. I mean, if you listen to my first radio demo,
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
You ever thought about posting it?
I don't even know if I have it still. It's somewhere.
I found a tape of me as a traffic reporter in Los Angeles. How no one fired me is beyond anybody's guess. Because, when I started, it was 1987.
Okay.
And it was, all the deep voice announcers, right? Like if you're into talk radio, like Mark Levin wasn't a thing yet. And so everybody sounds the deep voice, the robotic, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I'm up here like this, and I'm doing traffic. And it's like, I feel like looking back on those times where, people were like, who's going to tell him that he sucks? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, I'm 57. So what is that? About 40 or so years in broadcasting.
I mean, I thought I was done with radio for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't want to keep going in music radio. It got way too woke. The pay is awful in music radio.
Well, look how easily DJs, little inside the business lingo here, but disc jockeys are getting fired left and right.
Well, and it's heartbreaking because that was the differentiator between Spotify or Apple and what you get on the radio. But before the advent of these streaming platforms, they devalued the DJ. They went with less is more. They told you to stop talking. They didn't let you pick your own songs. You didn't have a character. You weren't able to develop. And then they said, we don't need you. And now music radio is in the gutter because you condition the audience to not need the personality
Yep.
and just focus on a playlist, and now anybody can do their own playlist.
Less is more. Congratulations, iHeart.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, that
so
and HD radio. Remember that?
oh yeah,
They
absolutely.
tried to sell us on the stations between the stations, and I remember,
Right.
like, half of my friends got fired over that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And obviously radio has changed a lot, which is honestly kind of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because, even though in talk radio, we can I don't know if I've ever been told, don't say that on
No,
on
I
talk radio.
haven't.
Like I've been doing this for years and years and years. I don't know if I've ever been told, don't say that. I know that people think that we've been told, don't say that,
Yep.
but haven't been. And so, I mean, but radio is changing and the media landscape
Yep.
is changing as well. And so it is ever evolving. And so we need to do what we need to do to survive. But I think that personality driven radio, ultimately, and talk radio is going to thrive for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 formats in radio that are doing anything right now. It's sports and it's news talk.
Yeah, it's as we like to say, spoken word.
Yep, and it's what's happening in real time, what's the latest, give me the updates. One of the reasons I don't think talk radio will ever go away is just because of what we see when catastrophic weather hits.
Yep.
Tornadoes,
Mhm.
how important of a utility this is.
Yep.
But we are putting a focus on the streaming and we are putting a focus on the internet because it's the wild, wild west and we don't have a ceiling here. Our antenna only stretches from Kentucky to Alabama.
Right.
So, but the internet stretches across the entire nation and globe. So
Mhm.
anybody can find us. I got a message from some guy found us on TuneIn in Detroit. He's like, I listen to you and Dan all the time now.
Nice.
And I was like, thank you. Like, but that's the internet. So we got to put a focus on the streaming because that's the way we grow.
There's actually a thing, and I do some, for people that don't know, I do some hosting on the national level.
Yep.
And so I'll hear from people that will say, I heard you on, on the Red Eye Radio show or whatever it is, and they'll be listening from California, from
Yeah.
Virginia, and it is all online. And I love that.
Yep.
And I think that it does show you that radio, even though it's a very local medium, it is global now.
Yeah.
And we'll get people that would listening to us overseas. They're from Tennessee and they listen to WTN, which is a heritage, long time radio station in Nashville. And I've been on here a long time. And people go overseas and they'll listen to us on the web or watch us on YouTube.
Well, I do it in reverse. So like when I was in music radio, you do imaging, which is like the sound effects and stuff between the songs. I would listen to Capital FM in London because that's their big top 40 station. That's like their Z100 or what is it in Nashville, The River. So that's their big music station, and they're always a few years ahead stylistically. So I would listen to that for inspiration ideas, and I do that now too with talk radio. LBC, Leading Britain's Conversation, is this conservative outlet in the UK, and I like to listen to that. As when Keir Starmer was in town, or when they did the trade deal in Scotland, on my ride home, I listened to LBC to see what they're talking about.
Interesting.
And it's the internet, and it's awesome, and you can do anything you want. They weren't very happy with Keir Starmer.
Do you know what I love about the internet? Is that anything and everything is documented now. And that's a good thing. For example, in the news, actually, literally today, we have all week this ongoing saga of Donald Trump, and he's got National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. And so
scary.
I know, right? So you've got this one guy who thought it would be a good idea to throw a Subway sandwich at a National Guardsman.
A meatball marinara mortar.
That's exactly right. And so you have this guy, and it's all on video. Guy walks up, hurls a foot long at a National Guardsman, then in his salmon-colored shirt, runs into traffic and tries to get away.
You went with salmon. Me and Mason had decided on landed on coral.
Coral, the color of the shirt?
Yeah, it was dark. It was dark.
It was dark, but that guy obviously got caught. Turns out that he is an attorney for the DOJ.
But this is also,
And he's also been fired now, by the way.
Yeah, but it highlights what they're up against.
Yeah.
Like these are the unhinged leftist lunatics that inhabit our government at every single level, from low-level staffers to higher ups. They're there, like draining the swamp. Like, remember they said the swamp fights back. It's like, yeah, and they throw sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the great thing is that it's on video. They caught the guy. What do you think his wife is going to say when she finds out he lost his, I don't know, $200,000 a year job with the DOJ? And he's going to be charged with a felony, which I think, don't they lose their law license?
Does he have a wife?
With that shirt, I'm not sure. Sorry. I'm sorry if you have a salmon-colored shirt.
I don't know. Do women want to marry liberal men?
Well, I will say this. When I was single and conservative, very few even wanted to date me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I had a horrible time dating.
What year was that?
Well, let's see.
Were you an evil Trumper at that time?
Well, it was 10 years ago, so Trump wasn't a thing. 2014, 2015 is when
still trying to wash off like the George Bush stink and all that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, well, maybe it was just me.
Well,
they didn't want to date me because it was me. I did have one woman who was like, sat down, and I've told this story on the air, sat down, met on, I think it was Plenty of Fish, something like that, which is a dating site. And we sat down, and I threw the pleasantries, and she said, "Oh, wait, you're the guy on the radio." And I said, "Yeah." You know what she did? She literally stood up and walked out.
Wow.
That's kind of what I faced. See, it's probably easier now.
But at least she did it in the beginning.
Yeah, she did. And she bought her own coffee, so that was
nice.
Fine. But these days, I think it's a lot more acceptable to be a conservative than it is to be.
Well, we've overtaken the culture.
Oh, absolutely. We talked about Sydney Sweeney and all that stuff. I mean, conservatism is definitely vogue again.
Yeah, we're hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have absolutely retaken the culture, and it's a big win. But would you date a liberal?
Shit, that's a good question. Well, I'm happily married now to a conservative.
No, yeah, we're just thought gaming this out. I wouldn't.
I would have a hard time because values are a big deal to me. And so if I was of childbearing age, definitely not, because I don't believe in abortion, right?
Yeah.
So, but with the difference in values, the way that it is right now, because most liberals are crazy.
Yeah.
Most liberals are crazy. So it would be hard to find a woman who was liberal that wasn't just frothing at the mouth hatred for conservatives. That would be the problem.
In 2025, do you think a relationship between a liberal and a conservative can even last?
No, I don't. Because the liberal side, now I'm going to sound like a conservative, but that side, the liberal side, has become so intolerant. They've become intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would probably not feel welcome in my own relationship. And if they want to try to change my political opinion, because, people like to change their spouse and the people that they date, and there's no changing me. And so I don't know if that would actually work. Would you? You wouldn't date a liberal, of course, you just said.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it could work.
It's a values thing.
Somebody's going to want to save the other one, and neither of them are going to want saving.
Would you try to, so if you did, okay, I got a better one for you. What would happen if, because this has happened, I've spoken to people who've done this, that have experienced this. What happens if your spouse suddenly completely changes their political affiliation?
Like out of the blue?
Well, it could be a slow burn, but yeah. I mean, that has happened where, I've had people either call my show or just messages or what have you, where it's like, I'm married a conservative, she has such a hatred for Donald Trump that she has turned into a Trump-hating progressive, and I don't know what to do.
Rip the TVs out of your home. That would be for starters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, like with Virginia, like she's allowed to have whatever opinion she wants to have. We talked
Sure.
about it. She thinks that Trump has completely fumbled the Epstein stuff, and I
Mhm.
think she's absolutely right.
Yeah.
We'll talk, and I'll be like, you got to put more of the blame at the feet of Pam Bondi,
Mhm.
and she'll say, yeah, but he's the boss. And it's like, that's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair. She's
Mhm.
very disappointed in how that's been handled. I'm very disappointed in how that's been handled.
Oh, it's been a complete and utter train wreck.
But
Do you believe that there was a CNN poll, whatever, that said that majority of people don't have lost interest in Epstein in the last few weeks?
yeah, I believe the poll.
Yeah.
Because what have we seen time and time again? Remember over the summer when the Daily Mail dropped all those documents from the Virginia Drew Frey trials,
Yeah.
where it was like, I mean, was it like one of the guys from Siegfried and Roy was implicated, Bill Clinton up and down, and
Yeah.
Prince Andrew up and down,
Mhm.
and we're like, we have the attention span of goldfish.
You're right. We have no attention span in this country. And what I said on the show was, well, yeah, you just did this poll in the last couple of days. Nothing has happened with Epstein for the last 3 or 4 weeks. But if something new came about, then the interest would be there again.
Yep.
Kind of felt like CNN, who did this poll, Harry Anton. It kind of felt like they were trying to convince the American people that there's nothing to see here.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But I don't think is it an important case? Yes. Did it radicalize a lot of people in 2015 as we were heading into that election with everything going on and everything going on online with like the Pizzagate stuff and all that? Yes, absolutely. Is it a letdown that we're here 10 years later and we don't have any answers? Absolutely. Is it the most important thing in the country currently? I don't know. I think you can make the argument that it's not. I think you can make the argument it's not at the top of Trump's list, and I think that that's okay.
You know what's surprising about the news cycle is that this week in the last, I think, couple weeks now, a lot of the news stories are looking back to, 8, 9, 10 years ago. What did we found out this week? Adam Schiff leaking classified information to damage Donald Trump. We find out,
Comey's doing it too.
yeah,
His buddy
Yep.
leaking classified information to the New York Times with the guy that ended up winning the Pulitzer for his Russia reporting.
oh, I mean, yeah, there's all of the, Obama and Hillary and Comey and all those people, John Brennan and Clapper, all these people colluded to come up with their Russian collusion narrative to politically assassinate Donald Trump. My point is, there's all these stories, Epstein included, that are going back 10 years. And there's so many positive things that are going on right now. And so there's some debate that we could have where it's like, okay, so shouldn't we focus on what is going on right now? Or do we want the DOJ and all of these folks going back, reaching back 10 years, 12 years to make sure that these people are held accountable? Because guess what? Hillary Clinton is still alive, and Adam Schiff is still alive.
Well, I guess there's a couple questions. It'd
Mhm.
be, do you think that there will be accountability?
No. I think we see this time and time and time and time and time again where, the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden thing,
Mhm.
where, you had all of that influence peddling, all of that information on Hunter Biden's computer and nothing. I mean, no real accountability. Hunter Biden
But
embarrassed himself.
We didn't have the DOJ at that time.
hmm
I still hold out hope that we have it. The other thing I would wonder is, are they making this the story so that way they can get other things done in the meantime?
Just kind of, okay, keep
Let-
everybody focused on
Let
this and we can do what we're going to
Let this
do.
be the media fodder so
Mhm.
we can focus on X, Y, and Z, because you see opposition pop up whenever Donald Trump does anything. I mean, it was just this past week that we finally got an appeals court to allow the continued cutting of foreign funding and USAID.
Yeah.
So it's like anything they do. I mean, we saw with the federalization of D.C., protesters are out there immediately. Granted, paid protesters who were worried about community and fascism,
Yeah.
but it was, but like instantly. So I wonder if there's part of the calculus that's like, okay, even if they don't think there's going to be accountability, which I hope there is, I think
I
there will be.
desperately hope that there is. I will not be happy until I see Hillary Clinton in handcuffs. But again, I don't think it's going to happen.
See, I don't think we'll see Hillary, but I think that Adam Schiff is being set up to be a fall guy. It just broke that they're also investigating Fauci for perjury on his COVID stuff.
Yeah. A
Um,
lot of this stuff, too. I mean, you listen to Rand Paul. I mean, Rand Paul will absolutely blister Anthony Fauci. And so a lot of these are things that we knew was going on, but now you're right. We have the DOJ
and
to
receipts.
and the receipts because Kash Patel got in there and started looking around. And so when Trump won, and you've got Kash Patel and to a lesser extent Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino, they're going in and they're looking around and they're finding all this stuff, and they've got the whistleblowers.
The whistleblowers are huge.
Yeah.
The whistleblowers are massive. But how much do you think is them actually like, oh, we found another document? Or do you think that this is more strategic, the way they're rolling it out? Do you think they're flying by, like, what's more realistic, flying by the seat of their pants, or that this has been a slow burn? They're slowly trotting this out. Gabbard said she's been working on it since day one. How much of it is planned and being executed according to the plan, and how much of it is, hey, guys, look, I found another receipt?
I think there's a certain amount of strategery going on, but I also think that there's a lot of stuff that's buried. Here's, I think, what's going to happen. The more information that they find out, the more information is going to come to them because there's going to be a pile-on nature that's going on where you have all of these people that are now finding the courage to come out and say, yes, Adam Schiff was leaking classified information. There's going to be more whistleblowers. Or, yes, Hillary and Obama, they all, Hillary came up with the dirty dossier and everybody coordinated to ultimately lead to the Mueller investigation. There's going to be more whistleblowers. There's going to be more. The more whistleblowers we get, I think the more that are going to come forward because I think that there's been a lot of people within, and especially with the newfound success of Donald Trump, there's going to be more people that are going to say, yeah, you know what? With the success that Donald Trump is having right now, imagine what he could have done if he wasn't wrapped up in all of those investigations in the first administration.
Well, I think that's part of the silver lining for the 2020 election being stolen,
Yes.
is that we have so much more runway right now to accomplish the Trump agenda. But so many people are blackpilled on it. I still hold out hope, and I pray, and I think that we need to go to this and follow it through its completion. But what do you say to people that are just completely blackpilled? Because I do think there's a large portion of conservatives who, like, I had a caller the other week, and people are like, "Wow, get that liberal off the phone." I was like, "He's not a liberal." I was like, "You're hearing a black-pilled conservative, a guy who thinks that the party I voted for isn't going to do what they said they're going to do," especially with like the Epstein stuff. There's going to be no accountability for the left. What do you tell somebody black-pilled?
Keep the faith and realize that Donald Trump and the Republicans right now are doing, in my opinion, a lot of good. One of the questions about accountability, if the Republicans take the House in the midterm elections and in 2028, if the Republicans, J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or maybe Ron DeSantis, whatever, keep the White House, keep the Senate, keep the majority in the House, then there will be perhaps the opportunity for those people to be held accountable. If the Democrats end up getting the House in the midterm elections in 2026, all that's going to go away because they're going to start impeaching Donald Trump, and Washington, D.C. is going to be a train wreck for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have to see what happens. But for me, I'm looking forward to people just, if they're willing to listen and they're more independent minded, to learn just how deep the swamp is and what they did against Donald Trump.
Do you think that we would have to wait until a new presidential term to see any accountability? Think it's going to take that long? I think I'm hoping post midterms. I don't want to give anybody any fodder for midterms.
They seem to be going pretty fast. They seem to be going pretty fast. I think that if they're going to bring up some charges against Adam Schiff, I mean that should come. I mean they've got the receipts already. They've got the whistleblowers. So maybe that'll happen in a couple of months. Do you really think he'd go to jail?
Schiff?
Mhm.
I think I could definitely see Schiff going to jail.
He better lawyer
I,
up.
I have I have a tough time seeing Hillary or Obama
They're not going to go to jail.
facing
Yeah.
facing anything like that. But a guy like Schiff seems like the perfect kind of fall guy.
Yeah.
Comey, Clapper, Brennan. I could see all that. But
Mhm.
yeah, Obama and Hillary, no.
No, I don't think. And Hillary's older, so I don't see them. I said earlier, I'm not going to be satisfied till she's hauled off in handcuffs. That's not going to happen. But I think it's good that people are becoming aware, red pilled, as you would say, aware of all of the things that they have done 10 years ago leading up to today. Because you think about it, just real quick, all of the crap that they did 10 years ago to Donald Trump to politically assassinate him in that first administration, all the way to modern day, where they are standing up, the Democrats are standing up for illegal alien gang members and, the criminals in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It is just so stunning. And Chris Matthews on MSNBC,
Yep.
he and Mika Brzezinski, whatever the hell her name is, they were acknowledging that it seems like Donald Trump and the Republicans are setting traps
Yeah.
because what they do is their knee-jerk reaction against everything Donald Trump does, which ultimately traps them into standing up for illegal alien gang members and, really, really bad people in Washington, D.C.
Well, and I think that's a reason what you just laid out there. That's the reason why Democrats retaking the House is not a foregone conclusion.
Oh, no, not at all.
Like yes, it's very hard for the incumbent to maintain control of the House. We understand that, but the Democrats don't present any ideas on how they want to make the country better. They just yell and scream about, like you said, all the traps that Donald Trump is laying for them. They're yelling about making DC safer.
Yeah. Well, and you talk to the people, you played some audio today, actually. You talk to people in Washington, D.C., and they're like, yeah, our city sucks. And there's a lot of crime. And we actually need the help.
Well, but the Democrats will get on TV and be like, have you noticed how racist it is that he's only going after black cities and black mayors? And my rebuttal to that today was, okay, so when the police get on the ground, if it's a predominantly black city, who's going to benefit from the safety?
Yeah.
Black
The
Americans.
black residents. Yeah. We saw the same thing during the Summer of Love, where you had Black Lives Matter out there, and they're torching cities. But what they're really doing is they're torching black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
And black homes. And it's sort of like there's all these videos of these, oftentimes they were older residents, black, and their businesses were torched and their homes were torched. And they're talking about Black Lives Matter. What about my life? What about my business? What about my home?
What about the neighborhood? And a lot of it was outside actors.
Yes.
So in Detroit, I love this story during the Summer of Love. Detroit is such a weird city. Like you don't end up in Detroit by accident. Like if I see somebody walking around with like a Detroit Lions hat or a shirt or a Tigers hat, I'm like, oh yeah, you're from there. Like you don't wear that by accident. They sent outside agitators into Detroit, and when the buses pulled up, the locals said, "Get the bleep back on the bus.
Yeah.
You're not from here. You can't be here." But a lot of these protesters are paid. There's a story going around today with Crowds on Demand CEO, 400% surge for requests for paid protesters.
Yep.
Since June.
Mhm.
It's like, it's insane. None of it's organic.
No, none of this. And we've seen this time and time again, where they've got all of these different protests and goes on. I swear it feels like it's every couple of weeks they've got another protest going on, and they keep offering, looking for people to protest. And I don't think there's this groundswell of anger that they're trying to convince the American people that there is.
No.
I don't believe that there is.
The only people that they're convincing are, I mean, for the most part, white liberal women.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but in Washington, D.C., there was this video going around where you had all of these people yelling at the National Guard, and they're all like white women.
Yeah.
And, then you've got the video of the black folks who are like, yeah, I'm really glad they're here because, and that was, part of what I said, which was, so it goes back to what we were saying earlier, which is, okay, so if you don't want the National Guard there, then what you want is you want more crime, you want the criminals that will impact the black community in Washington, D.C., because they're the victims of the crime. So which side is racist?
Yeah.
Democrats, obviously.
100%.
Yeah. All right. We got to leave something to talk about for next time.
I'm always happy to end on Democrats are racist.
Absolutely.
Hit like, hit subscribe, lay your opinion down in the comments. We appreciate it as always. You guys listening to us and watching us. Thank you so much. At Dan Mandis Show is Dan's handle on all the socials. I'm at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. We will follow back. Thank you guys again for joining us on Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris.